Alright guys, it is time to take a look at what's coming out this week and see what I'm getting. What's up guys, BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. I am super excited. Now I know some of you guys are like, yo, this video was supposed to come out yesterday. It's true, but I wanted to let the Black History Month video breathe a little bit. So today is Monday, and now we can take a look at the titles coming out this Wednesday. It's actually a pretty small week, or light week for me, but there's some really cool indie titles coming out, so I'm giving a few series a shot. But yeah, so it's time to take a look at what's coming out March 3rd and tell you what I'm getting. Now, if you're interested in comic book content, unboxings, reviews, and all that sort of thing, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out anytime I post new content. By the way, shout out to the Premiere Squad. I see you guys. We just had our 1,000 subscriber giveaway the other night, and man, was it fun. I actually got the giveaway prizes behind me. I got to go ship them out as soon as I'm done shooting this video. But anyway, I'm super excited. Thank you to all of you who support the channel, and thank you for everyone who showed up on the live stream. I promise we will have more fun to come, but I'm going to announce that later on. So just make sure you're subscribed, and for extra kicks and giggles and bonus content, join the K Squad on Facebook, because that's where I announce everything long before it ever hits the YouTube channel. So go ahead and hit that up for me. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the comics coming out on March 3rd, this Wednesday, 2 days from now, and talk about what I'm getting, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list, things I'm going to make a game day decision on. So I always like to start out with the book that I'm most excited for, and this week, that is Batman 106 by James Tyning with art by Jorge Jimenez. Dude, I am so excited to get the return of this series. We are finally done with Future State. Not that Future State was terrible, but Future State just took a lot of time, a lot of mental real estate, and I almost forgot how good the Batman stories were going into Future State. So I'm ready to see what's going on with Clown Hunter and all the new characters that were introduced, the Ghostmaker. I'm really excited to see how this new Bat family, as Batman is slowly starting to piece together his family, I'm excited to see what Gotham is going to look like with this new status quo. So I'm getting the cover B, which is a wraparound cover by Jorge Jimenez. I'm super excited about that. It's got a cover price of $4.99, which apparently is the new standard for DC Comics. So watch those wallets, kids. So while we're on the topic of DC Comics, I've only got 2 books on the list. There's that one, and there's this Infinite Frontier number 0. You can kind of think of this like a new Rebirth special, right? This is a one-shot that's kind of helping to explain the status quo of the DC universe post-Death Metal, and then kind of, it's not really post-Future State, but it's really helping to explain the new status quo of the DC universe. Like I said, I actually got to take a sneak peek at the issue. There are a lot of things that I think people are going to be very excited about in that issue. So very cool. And that one shot has a cover price of $5.99. I'm just getting the cover A. And that is the totality of my DC Comics pull list. So if I just stick to the list, I'm only looking at $11 out of my pocket. Not bad at all, right? So let's move on to Marvel. Marvel is the same thing. I've only got 2 books on my Marvel pull list. The first is Star Wars High Republic number 3. Now, I have not read Star Wars High Republic number 1 or number 2. They both went very quickly, and there's all sorts of speculation around the issues. I don't know why the prices are going up so much, but I found, I think, a second print of issue number 2. I'm still on the hunt for issue number 1. I heard they were putting them in Walmart packs, so I'm going to try to find the issue number 1 in a Walmart pack so I'm not paying crazy prices on the internet for it. And then I will read up and through issue 6 to see if this book is my cup of tea. I mean, we've got a new Black Jedi. I mean, Black History Month's over, but not for me. So if the book is good, I'm going to keep reading it. And if it's not, I'm going to tell you that it's not, and then I'm going to drop it. But that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A on that. And the next book from Marvel is one that I've been waiting for a little while. This is Peach Momoko's Demon Days X-Men #1. Now, of course, I've got to go with the cover A by Peach Momoko for obvious reasons, but there's quite a few variants out there that look pretty good. I think Art Germ has a variant. I think Mark Brooks has a variant. There's a lot of variants for that Demon Days X-Men #1. So you can't really go wrong, but for me, I'm going to stick to the cover A. And that's got your typical $1 markup for a #1 issue by Marvel. So you're going to be looking at a cover price of $4.99 for that. So that's it for my Marvel list. If I just stick to the list, that's all we got to do, stick to the list. Then that's just going to cost me $9 out the door for my Marvel list. So here we are halfway through the video and I'm only got to spend $20. This is good, right? This is good. Now, because I've got so much room in the budget this week, I'm going to try out a few indie titles that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. So the first one is Berserker #1. Now, this is coming out from Boom Studios. There's been much to do about this book. It was funded through Kickstarter. There's all sorts of ridiculous amounts of variants. Of course, I'm getting the cover A, but yeah, there's so many variants for this book. I like the cover A. I do also like the Mark Brooks foil variant. So if that book is cover price, then that's the one I want. And that cover price is just $4.99. I couldn't tell you anything about the story except it's basically Keanu Reeves being, you know, an epic, awesome fighting dude. What else do you want from Keanu Reeves? So next up on the indie list from Image Comics and Skybound Studios is Firepower. Firepower issue #9 by Robert Kirkman, art by Chris Samney. This series is nothing if not consistent. I mean, it's constantly like just keeping you engaged. The stakes are being raised. It's fun. It's just a fun book. I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, if I wasn't so heavy into superheroes, it's stuff like this that makes you want to explore more indie titles because I have not been disappointed yet. So that's about as high praise as I can give a book right now. But Firepower #9 has a cover price of $3.99 and I'm just getting the cover A. There isn't a cover B for this book, so there you go. Another new #1 from Image Comics and Scott Snyder is Nocterra. Scott Snyder, I think his company's called Best Jacket, Full Jacket, Metal Jacket. I don't know. Pretty sure it's Best Jacket Press. But anyway, this is a creator-owned series. This one is Scott Snyder with Tony Daniel on the artwork. And it's basically, I've seen this pitched on so many other YouTube channels, but it's like there's this world where the sun doesn't come up. And no one knows why the sun won't come up anymore. And like if you get caught in the darkness too long, you turn into a monster. So this is like following like people trying to not be monsters and to avoid the monsters and stuff. I don't know. It sounds just as bombastic as anything else I've ever heard of from Scott Snyder. But he's the owner. He's the creator. So there's no editorial reins that he's being pulled in by. So I'm excited to see how this goes because I've never read a Scott Snyder creator-owned work before. There's a lot of good covers for this. I'm getting the cover A, but there's a Greg Capullo cover C, and there is a, what is the guy's name? Boss Logic. The Boss Logic cover might actually be my favorite cover for this issue. But there's so much to choose from. I'm going to go to the comic shop and whatever's left over is what I'll be taking a look at when I get there. But it's got a cover price of $3.99, and that's not bad at all. And the last book on my pull list this week, also from Image and Skybound Studios, is The Walking Dead Deluxe #10. So I've been picking up The Walking Dead Deluxe because I did not read The Walking Dead originally. And for whatever reason, like I find it hard to get into black and white stories, so I didn't pick up the trades or the compendiums or anything like that. But Image has been re-releasing these books for the first time in color, so I've been collecting them. I plan to do a read-through of the first 10 issues soon and do a review on those. But I've enjoyed everything else Robert Kirkman's written, so I assume I'll enjoy The Walking Dead, especially since it was like a hit TV show for freaking ever. But yeah, so Walking Dead Deluxe number 10 has a cover price of $3.99. Of course, I'm getting that cover A by David Finch. So that's it for my list this week. Now let's talk about the one book that didn't make the list that could have. On the chopping block this week is Man Bat, issue number 2. So I actually picked up Man Bat on a whim. I didn't actually subscribe to it. It was just there at the shop a few weeks ago. And so I picked it up on my lunch break and I read it. And honestly, it wasn't a bad issue. You know, it's Kirk Langstrom. He's got this drug problem. He's got like this complex, right? Like he just thinks he's the best thing in the world when he's Man Bat. And issue 1 was cool. There was some cool action. You got some cool appearances from Batman and other people. But the reality is, I don't need 5 issues of this, so I might as well quit at number 1. I don't doubt it'll be a good series. If it goes to trade or gets a hardcover, I'll probably pick it up then. But with all these new titles coming out, you know, I just don't need that one to keep up with. So it's on the chopping block this week. Sorry guys. But yeah, so again, I wasn't even subscribed to that, so I didn't even put it in my total, but it's got a cover price, I believe, of $4.99. And then let's talk about the maybe list. The one book that I'm going to make a game day decision on, and that is Eniac Number One. It's a brand new number 1 from Bad Idea Comics. Now, as far as I understand, Bad Idea is a new publisher being put together by some of the guys who were at Valiant before. There's a lot of mystery going on around this publisher. But yeah, so I mean, there was all kinds of mystery. All sorts of hysteria. I don't know what the deal is with Bad Idea and why people think it's such a big deal, but obviously they do. They've got the mystery down pat. So the reason this is on the maybe list and not like just actually on my list is because I don't even know if my LCS is going to have it, right? So I went to order it and it said, please inquire. So it sounds like this might be super limited and it might be going for ridiculous prices. And if it's going for more than cover price, I'm just gonna have to draw that hard line. I might read it digitally or do something else when the book is actually out and widely available. But yeah, I'm not paying a bunch of money for a book that I've never read, and for creators that I've never read on anything else. So there we go. That's Eniac Number One. The premise sounds really cool, right? They're talking about like the Eniac, the actual computer, the supercomputer that was built like in the World War II or World War I era. Pretty sure it was World War II. But yeah, so the premise sounds interesting. Obviously, there's some kind of horror about the computer, but it's just too mysterious for me to want to pay that much money for it. Because if I want to buy it, I want to read it, not flip it. So the value doesn't really make sense to me anyway, or doesn't matter as much to me anyway. But that's enough of me ranting about why I'm not buying this $3.99 book for $50. That's what's on the maybe list this week. If they've got it at the shop and it's at a reasonable price, then I'll consider picking it up. But I want to know, because that's all that's on my list this week. So if I stick to the list, my grand total walking out of the comic shop is going to be just $37, which is epic. Although I'm sure I will find a way to grab a bunch of random variants and stuff and bring my total right back up to 50. But hey, you only live once, right? See something you want, you should buy it because it may not be there again. I've learned that lesson the hard way a few times. So if you got the money, do it. I hope you saw something you liked in this video. I want to know what's on your pull list. So let me know in the comments below. If you want to talk comics with us all the time, join the K Squad on Facebook. Like I said, we talk about our comic hauls. We post little mini reviews of issues that we're reading. We try to keep things spoiler free. We also have nice, spirited discussions about the comic book industry and fandom as a whole. It's a great place to be. It's a place to talk comics. So if that's what you want to do with us on Facebook, then hit the link. It's in the description of this video. Until then, I hope I see you there. But until then, hope you saw something in this video that you like. Like I said, if not, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Make sure you read what you buy and be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.